There's no transaction that's ever the same, ever. Like no financial situation is ever the same. No inspection is ever the same. No financial inspection, personal situation, timeline, nothing is ever the same. I've never had one transaction that's been like, oh, that's the same slam dunk as the last one, or this is the same complicated mess as the last complicated mess. No, we're all human. We're all complicated. We all have our things. And so
the views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. Happy New Year, everyone. This is our first show, our first fresh show of 2026. So all the best to you listening. Thank you for listening. I'm your host, Bill Knapik. And of course, we have another radio adventure. We're going to have great radio adventures, great guests, some new ones along the way for 2026, and some of our favorites that are going to bring forth tremendous information. And that's pretty much what happens each and every show right here on Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. So let's get down to business right now as we welcome Emily Rollins. She is with the Evan Ballou Group, and she's here right now. Emily, welcome to the show.
thank you. Thanks for having me. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone. It's so great to see you. So first of all, Emily, let's tell people about your company, the company that you're with, Evan Ballou Group.
So Evan Ballou Group, we have, 20 agents now. So anybody that knows of a group or a team or anybody in real estate, I think they know that there's power in numbers. So there's definitely a lot of power behind our team, that's for sure.
And you're one of the most powerful and productive agents on the team, I'm told.
I mean, that's very kind of you. I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take the compliment.
Well, let's tell people, as far as they listen to the show, there's so many realtors, so many brokerages around the city. Let's tell people geographically where you're doing most of your work and where your team is doing most of the work.
So I do a lot of my work in North Houston. So I'm going to say anywhere north of basically Highway 99. But we've got agents on our team that do go south of 99 that are South Houston, Southeast Houston. So as far as our group in general, we're pretty expansive. But my general market area is, I would say, north of 99, Montgomery County area, and into Walker County.
So then for those listening that might be outside of Houston and not familiar with 99, that's kind of like west, northwest, we would say, of the city of Houston.
I'd just say north of Houston. That's kind of the best way to describe it.
And then one of the things, as we look at the new year, how was 2025 for you and the group, by the way?
25 was great to the group. We were still steady. We still had great business, awesome clients, life-changing transactions. We still had a great year. Now, I know that a lot of people say, oh, it's slow. Oh, my gosh, it was so busy. I would say it was still a pretty steady year, but we've all kind of looked into what we're expecting for 26, and I can say we're all pretty excited to see what it holds.
And that was going to be my next question. How are you looking ahead and forecasting, as you have done, I would imagine, the last couple of months? How are you thinking about 2026? What do you think it's going to be like for you?
I think there were a lot of buyers that were sitting at the end of 24 into 25, and I think they finally said, you know what? I'm tired of waiting. I've waited for it to get better. I've waited for it to get better. I've waited for a better deal. And I think they've seen that it's holding. And they're finally saying, okay, you know what? It's just time to move. I've waited too dang long. And so I think people have finally said, let's just go ahead and do it. So I'm looking forward to 26 because I think that's when people are finally saying, let's make a move.
And one of the other things, Emily, as we're thinking sometimes just about buyers and helping buyers and things, but as far as sellers, some of the homes in certain areas have been sitting on the market for a while. What's that like? And what if someone's going to have a listing or talking to you about a listing in your area, how are you advising them right now as to what to expect?
I'm actually happy you asked me this. I was kind of hoping we'd talk about this today because,
I was too. Yeah.
Well, because I've come across other people, right, people in my neighborhood. So they had a ladies' luncheon around Christmas, and there was a lady in my neighborhood, and she moved into my neighborhood from Cyprus. and a very busy area of Cypress. Everything moves pretty quickly over there. And she said, I'm just so frustrated because my home still hasn't moved and I don't know why. And I said, well, has your agent communicated, everything with you, your stats, where you're at in the market as far as pricing? And she said, absolutely. I said, well, your agent's doing a great job. I said, it's right by our right time. And I think that's back to what I was saying. I think a lot of people have been sitting on the fence and saying, I'm waiting for the right house, the right time, right? So that's the buyer that's been waiting to buy your house. And so I love supporting other agents in our industry. And if someone says, I don't understand why my house is still sitting, I just tell them, have you communicated with your agent? Do you understand where you're at on pricing? Do you understand comps? If they say, yes, we've talked through all that, then I say, great, you have a great agent, you're in great hands, just keep talking to them and talk through that.
And you mentioned pricing. Sometimes we hear a phrase that's used generally to where the home is on the market for a while or the property's on the market, and someone says, oh, well, it's not priced right.
Oh, yeah.
So, but would you say it's more than just about price? I mean, sure, the home has to be priced correctly for the marketplace, but there's more to it than that, isn't there?
Oh, there's so much more to it. I mean, gosh, I've had homes that are priced below market value and they're still sitting. And it's a clean house. I mean, I could eat off the floors. There's nothing wrong with it. They've never had anything done. One in particular it went under contract. Under its inspections, they asked for no repairs, nothing. That's how clean of a home it is. Like, so clean that they asked for nothing after inspections. It busted. I'm going to say busted. It sounds terrible, but the deal didn't go through because of the buyer's financing, right? So there are things outside of our control, no matter how much we try to control it as as the seller's agent, there's things out of our control. So in that situation, there was the right buyer. The home was priced incredibly. It was a great deal for them. Everything lined up, but there was a situation in their life, the buyer's life, that the deal essentially ended up falling apart. So all that to say, can it be priced right and still sit? Absolutely, all day. So when people say, but my home, I'm basically giving it away, I say, guys, right buyer, right time. Like, you can give your house away right now, and if the buyer doesn't exist, the buyer doesn't exist. So,
well, let's say this, Emma. For those that are out there, we're talking with Emily Rollins with the Evan Ballou Group. For those that are thinking about listing their home, or maybe they have their home listed right now, what are some of the things that you advise people to do to make sure they do to have it ready, other than being priced right? That's super important. What are some of the other things we should do when we're ready to list our home?
I think take into consideration every no you're going to get or any objection you're going to get. So when people come look at your home and you've got a 15-year-old roof, well, have you thought about replacing the roof? Is your AC original? Is your AC 22 years old? You should probably think about replacing that too. I always go back to mechanicals, right? Those are big expenses in a home. So even if you're pricing it right, someone's going to come in that home and say, hey, I've got to replace all this stuff. So I need a better deal. So everybody's always looking for a better deal, a better deal, a better deal. So the best way to mitigate that, make sure that you take care of those things from the beginning so you won't run into those issues. And that'll be less of a no for people when they do come and look at your home. They'll walk through the door and say, yes, 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 new AC, new water heater, new all things. There's some things I say paint colors, right? Those are things that people are going to want to change. But we're talking about $1,000 change versus a $10,000 change.
And right now, Emily, are you helping in your area more buyers or more sellers? I know it changes along the way, but at
sellers.
This point, more sellers.
I say sellers just because sellers are slower moving right now. Like I said, it's right by our right time. So we've got a shortage of buyers in the market, which means we've got a lot of sellers, a lot of homes sitting and waiting, and they're priced right, and we're just sitting and waiting.
And when you're helping buyers, how often are you running into the cash buyers?
Ooh. Right now, I would say maybe 70-30, 30 on cash buyers.
There are a few out there.
They're out there.
3 out of 10.
Yeah, they're out there.
Nice. So, outside of real estate, you're very busy. You and the team, you're doing tremendous work. We hear about you all over Houston. Outside of real estate, what do you do to keep a balanced life and to keep things organized and plan and all those things?
I keep a village.
You keep a village.
People say, it's funny, I actually heard a client say this a couple weeks ago. They said something happened in their home after they bought it. And she said, yeah, we called his friend and we said, hey, Randy, you want a village, come be a villager. So you got to have a village and you got to be ready to be a villager. And then I think it's those people in your village that support your business and keep it going through the year.
That's a good point. It has to be a team.
Yeah.
And one of the things about real estate for realtors especially, and people in other parts of the profession, it's almost an all-encompassing from a time standpoint. I mean, it could take up your whole week, your whole day, if you're not disciplined and have a certain way to manage it. I mean, how do you do that?
Oh God,
you're constantly working
I
on
am
it.
not the right person to ask about that. So I was spending Christmas Eve going back and forth on a deal that we were ending an option period on. So we actually had for anybody that understands that we had an option period, it expired on a certain day. We got it extended a few more days because of just the holidays and needing a little more time for the seller, because I actually represent the buyer in the transaction. So we needed a little more time for the seller to go back, and these items that we had asked them about, they said, well, they should work. I said, well, they're not working. So figure it out, or we've got to have a conversation. So we extended option period to allow them more time to hopefully give us a better answer and prove to us that what we wanted to work was actually working. We gave them 3 more days. It wasn't working. So, but I was down to the wire, even on an extension, going back and forth. So do I ever turn the switch off? The answer is no. Because if my clients need me and if a timeline requires my attention, I'm there.
Give us a quick word on social media. I know last time you were on the show, you got thousands of views on Facebook. So if you were to advise someone how to use social media, or more specifically, how to improve the views, how does that work? What would you tell people? Because it's very important in the marketing, right, for social media these days. What are some of the things that you do that work?
Be authentic, because I think a lot of us, we can get on screen and we can say, ooh, look at this pretty kitchen and these granite countertops, and and I'm not saying go in there and make a funny comedy video or anything, but I think be real when you're in front of your clients. Just say, hey guys, when I'm walking in this house, like, I'm representing you and this is what I'm looking for. And so when you're taking these videos and when you're trying to talk to the masses, tell them the same thing, convey the same message. Hey, I'm here to take care of you, and I do have a present, there's a certain way I want to present this to you, but I also want to be very much me. Sometimes that means there's a few bleeps here and there, if you know me, but
just a few.
Sorry.
Emily Rollins, let's tell people how they can reach you.
Well, you can contact me on social media, or you can shoot me an email or a phone call. You can reach me at 713-295-1994. That is 713-295-1994. 713-295-1994.
Emily, thanks for being with us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
As we continue and start the new year, let's talk to Brandon Levy. He is with Smarter Mortgage. Brandon, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate you having me on today.
Well, here we are. It's money time when you're here on the show. Smarter Mortgage. First of all, let's tell people about your company, Smarter Mortgage.
Well, Smarter Mortgage has been in business since 2019. They're a local lender that's over here in the greater Houston area, primarily based out of Corpus Christi for the main office, and we have an office here in the Galleria as well. We've got about 20 or 25 LOs currently working for us, specialized primarily in residential mortgages. I personally also do some commercial, some private lines as well.
So you're doing a little commercial along the way as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll hit that topic here in a little bit. But in the meantime, there's so many mortgage companies, Brandon. Give us an idea of some of the distinctions about Smarter Mortgage. I love the name. I think it's also very easy for people to remember for some reason.
I think really what primarily sets us apart is the ability to be able to do foreign national, any types of business purpose types of loans, in addition to our flexibility and idealistic processors that are able to assist us even with working on Sundays to be able to help our clients have the most effective process through the transaction.
Well, and as far as the mortgage world, I would imagine people are always saying, hey, Brandon, what's the rate? Do you ever hear that?
I've heard it a couple times before. I'd say currently...
Per day, per hour?
Oh, every minute, right? I'd say currently the rates right now, we're probably solidly in the 5s and getting into the upper 4s for government rates. Looking at non-QM here in the 5s as well, in 6s. And you're in conventional, you're probably already in the upper 5s and low 6s as well.
Well, we heard all year long last year, certainly on this show and all on the street as far as real estate goes, people were talking, oh, the rates are higher, they're too high, but still, right now, they've gone down, I would say significantly. So what's happening? Is there going to be a rush, or has it happened while I was on vacation, or what? What's going on now? This should really have triggered the market, or not?
Currently, the market is definitely having a positive uptick. I can tell you that my fourth quarter was probably the best fourth quarter I've had in about the last 3 or 4 years. Very exciting. One thing that I really want to address would have to be some of the most recent actions that took place here this week, and which is going to be massive for the greater Houston economy, specifically with dealing with residential and commercial mortgages. The whole collapse of Venezuela right now is going to lead to tons upon tons of oil, gas, related jobs that are going to be here in this area, which means a lot more sales for all of us that are in this business.
Well, going a little bit ahead of what you're saying there, so are you saying that even that might affect even more people coming to Houston?
Correct.
Holy smokes.
Not to mention with reinvigorating downtown again, we can finally open up some of those office buildings.
Well, there was actually, I don't have all the pieces in place, but right now I do know I watched a video that talked about 5 things, you mentioned downtown, of a lot of money that's going to be spent here in the downtown area of Houston. One of them was billions of dollars spent on redoing the George Brown Convention Center, and then other things that related to downtown. So that obviously would have some effects in the real estate world.
Massive for our business. Very exciting times. I have to tell you, anybody that's sitting there and looking for a very slow 2026 is going to be very sadly disappointed. I think we're going to be slammed from beginning to end. I wouldn't be surprised if the people that are still around here in the business go back to doing 15 to 20 transactions a month easy.
What about refinancing?
It's coming down as well. With those rates, I'd say you're probably about 3 to 6 months away before we're going to see some significant movement. They are talking about rates possibly on the Govy side getting into the upper 3s here later this year. So it'll definitely be some really good opportunity to be able to take advantage for anyone that unfortunately got in the 7s and even upper rates.
And as we were thinking about last year and even the year before, where people were perceiving, quote, higher rates, the other thing that just comes to mind, as they now have gone significantly down, I would think the person that's watching or ready to take a loan out, they're like, well, maybe it's not down enough. Maybe I'll wait. I mean, at what point, you know what I'm saying? In your world, you probably have people that are like, okay, it's down a little bit, but maybe I ought to wait. It might go down more. How do you address that person when they call you and say, hey, what should I do, Brandon?
I wouldn't recommend anyone doing anything for anything less than a point to possibly a 1.5. If you can't make that type of turn with the costs of everything that goes into being able to write a loan now, it just honestly doesn't make sense financially. You're going to actually put yourself further back in the pointer. The good news is market values are obviously starting to come back up right now. So the people that did end up buying at the high point are finally coming back into play to be able to do business as well.
We're talking with Brandon Levy. The company is Smarter Mortgage. And right now, as you mentioned, Brandon, you said you're helping residential and commercial. What's the balance or ratio of how much versus at this point in time?
80 to 85% residential. I touch my commercial as it comes in. I also do some personal lines as well, lines of credit, merchant cash advance, factoring. Anything that you can turn a nickel on, I'm here to help people out.
You're in the money business.
Yeah.
Interesting. So tell us a word about the commercial market, because we kind of hit on the downtown, but what about other areas commercially? What are you seeing in the times that you're working in that arena?
I work with some exotic projects. I'm currently working on a foundry that's here in North Houston. Very exciting on that, getting an SBA loan done for that.
For a foundry?
For a foundry, yeah. Been around since 1936. Very exciting project. I'm also working on a large strip center community portfolio, that is to say, of 23 units that are going to be out in Bel Air, about a $200 million price tag on that.
Yeah, I've said it on the show just a few shows ago. This is really still Houston, Texas. That is a land of opportunity that does not seem to be slowing down.
Correct.
As far as residential, what would you, if someone has been on the sidelines, or even they've had a home for 8 years and they haven't been worried about interest rates, but now they're at the point where it's like, oh, we're going to move, we have to go to another city, or whatever other reason they're going to move. They haven't been in the world of trying to get a mortgage for any reason. How do you advise someone to how it's different to be able to get the loan now versus the last time they got a loan those many years ago? What should they know?
With determining on when they actually took out that last loan, everything changes so often. I recommend working with a careful group of professionals, whether that be your realtor or whether that be an educated or well-intended loan officer.
Like Brandon Levy,
myself,
right here.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the compliment, sir. You want to be able to sit down with them and have a conversation, as every situation is going to be different from the last. There's really no cookie cutter.
Well, also, as far as your background, tell us a little bit about Valley Forge.
Sure. I went to Valley Forge Military Academy in college back in the 90s and into the early part of the 2000s. Had a full ride for the Citadel. I blew out my back, which ended up ending my military career right at the infancy of it. Ended up going to California, got into mortgages while I was at Cal State Fullerton doing undergrad. That was over 20 years ago. Kind of still been loving it ever since. I've been down here in Houston since 2015, and I just try to continue to take 1 foot forward every day.
Well, with your military experience that you did have, I would imagine their discipline, systems, and procedures might have been ingrained in you. Give us an idea how that helps you, the military academy, how that helped you in your business here today.
I think teaching me the right proper procedures and the way to act and the way to treat others, to be able to put yourself in a position from teaching you leadership, from ability to drill, keeping you very clever in the ways that you have to think outside the box, to be able to get past with inspections, anything along those lines, be some of the most important aspects that I learned from that system.
And as you mentioned earlier, in terms of the business side of things, you're expecting it's already started to be a more robust year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're expecting it to even be more so. How do you prepare to be able to handle more business?
Well, I've got a very good team that I work with. We're able to deal with clients in Vietnamese as well as Spanish. I've got 2 LOs that are underneath me currently, and we'll be bringing on another 2 loan officers as well to assist in this upturn in business.
So that sounds pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Life has been good to me.
Well, we're excited too. And Brandon, outside of the business, what are some of the things that you do to keep the balanced life and to have a little fun along the way?
I know it sounds kind of crazy, because back when my dad used to do it, I used to think he was crazy, but I actually love to read. I love learning about new things, being able to travel, experience new ideas, new thought processes, to be able to take in new cultures. That's what really kind of spins my wheel nowadays.
Reading.
Oh, I love reading.
It's awesome.
It's like going to the movies.
Well, it's a great thing, but also as I think about your background too, as far as the little bit I know geographically, you were on the East Coast in the Pennsylvania area, and then dramatically on the West Coast, 2 totally different places. Both, by the way, that I think I prefer the weather there. They have great weather in Southern California, 4 seasons in Pennsylvania, but also you were in Illinois.
I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, and even spent 4 years working in Tampa. And I spent a year abroad in Israel, too.
So I think traveling is such a great teacher for us as individuals and even for our kids.
I couldn't agree with you more. To be able to take in new cultures is the only way you're going to be able to grow, to be able to learn different ideas and different thought process. If you don't actually go out and do that, we're just sitting here spiting the same garbage all over again.
Brandon, let's tell people how to reach you. Brandon Levy with Smarter Mortgage.
Now, the best way to reach me is via my Chicagoland cell phone, which makes me unique here for the Houston area. And you can reach me at 847 area code 858-4378. Once again, that's 847 area code 858-4378.
Brandon, thanks for being with us.
I appreciate it as always.
As we continue, let's talk about an organization called HIREBA. We have Bill Edge. The company is also Man Edge Properties. Bill is the membership director of HIREBA. Bill, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here with you.
Well, Bill, HIREBA, it's already ringing a bell with people out there as they're driving, listening, or however they're listening. Let's tell people, what is HIREBA?
HIREBA is an organization for independent real estate brokers and their agents wanting deeper industry connections, learning, and to give back to industry.
So it sounds like here in Houston, Texas, Bill, I think the last count we hear about there's 40,000 plus or so real estate agents, or people that have a license anyway. So as far as HIREBA goes, which realtors should be interested in HIREBA?
There's about 50,000 now, I think, Bill. We're the people that are the independent brokers that they don't have the resources that the large companies have, the meetings in the mornings, the speakers, the networking. We give them that. Our motto is you don't have to be alone in this business, that we can provide the help and guidance to help you stay in business and to learn how to operate in a professional manner.
Because along the way, certainly on this show, we have people, realtors from all kinds of companies, but so often we hear, oh, we're a small boutique realtor. I hear that term a lot. So it sounds like that might be some of the companies that might want to join or be part of HiREBA.
That's a lot of the main ones we're going for. Now, some big companies can be with us too. We have some companies that have over 1,000 agents and be with us. If you're an independent broker and you're not a franchise broker, then you're eligible for membership in HiREBA. So we do have some large brokers among us. A lot of the brokers are from 1 to 10 agents. We have quite a few of the brokers that have been in business for a long time that don't want a whole lot of agents anymore, that they've gone through that. We've had a few lawsuits here or there. You've gone through all the problems that you have of taking care of somebody else where they're controlling your business and representing you. And it gets to the point where you say, well, I think I'm just going to just do it myself. I'm having to do all the work anyway, so I might as well just stay by myself. And we have those. So we're about half and half. We're about half composed of real estate brokers that have maybe 1 or 2 agents, and then we're composed of brokers that have anywhere from 10 to 1,000 agents.
So then when someone's a broker just signs up or becomes a member of HiREBA, what are the ways that you're assisting them to make them, as your term, not feel alone? What are the things that you're doing for them?
Well, the first thing we want to do is bring the person into a meeting to introduce them a lot of times and let people know the expertise that you have around you. You might be doing a farm and ranch transaction. You've never done one. We want people to have somebody that they can go to where they don't have to do it, I guess, not know what to do, that they have some guidance, some leadership, some professional person behind them can say, here's how you go and handle a farm and ranch transaction. Here's where you get a windmill inspection, this type of thing.
And also, as far as you have meetings once in a while, or are they every month, or how often?
We meet twice monthly. We meet the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays of the month. We meet at 9 o'clock at 1414 Wirt Road at the Trinity Mendenhall Community Center.
And as far as speakers, Bill, I hear that you'll have speakers there talking about different topics. Give us an idea of some of the speakers you have and the things that you address.
We have speakers such as Renee Galvez, Chief Executive Officer of the Houston Real Estate Association, comes in. We have Jorge Barao, who's the Chief Economist with Texas A&M. We have Tina Peterson, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Harris County Flood Control. We have these type of speakers come in and give us an update on what's happening.
And is that kind of the roster that's coming up? It sounds like that's your coming attraction,
that
so to speak.
Would be some of them, yes, sir.
That sounds pretty exciting, Bill.
It is very exciting. We have a list of them on our website that you could go to. It's HiREBA.org. Who list? It's a good. We also have information, past presentations of people like Ted Jones on our websites that are available for realtors, but also for the public. Anybody can go on and download one of those presentations from our website.
Sounds like a super resource. So let's tell people the website right now while we're talking about it.
The website is HiREBA.org, HiREBA.org. HiREBA.org. And yes,
let's remind people those initials, what they stand for.
Houston Independent Real Estate Brokers Association.
There you go. It's got a nice ring, though, that HiREBA. It's exciting. So, Bill, some of the things, how long has this HiREBA been around? I know it's like a couple decades, right?
HiREBA was started in 1994 by Rod Cook and Paul Vinson.
So there you go. That's some heritage. And as far as members, about how many do you have right now?
We have about 100 members right now. Now, that's the
100
top
brokers?
100 brokers.
Represented, okay.
Yes, sir. That's not how many agents and all that are available to come.
That's awesome. So, Bill, also, you have been in the real estate world. Let's tell people about how long.
I've been in the real estate world about 30 years. I've worked with 2 brokers and worked with a couple of the major homeowners, home builders here in Houston.
And as far as just thinking about all the changes in those decades long, your experience, you've seen a lot of things, right?
There's been a whole lot of change. The big change that I see, and I think we're going to be addressing a lot, is artificial intelligence in our industry. We had the National Association of Realtors had a convention here 3 weeks ago at George R. Brown, and when you went into the seminars on artificial intelligence, you saw some of the top executives from all over the United States of America coming here to learn about artificial intelligence. It's going to be a huge game changer in our industry. That is something that we're going to be addressing, that we're going to be helping people with and learning ourselves.
Yeah, it's absolutely fascinating. And as far as whether it was at NAR, at the National Associations of Realtors Convention, as you were there, a lot of people were there, and anything else that you've learned, what are some of the other things that in terms of the market that you're expecting here in Houston, Texas? How robust, if that's the best way to put it, what do you see if you were to speculate for this coming year that's already started? Here we are.
Well, I think one of the things that was interesting to me is we put in an offer of $1.4 million on a lot in West University, and my client had a cash offer, and I called it $1,400,000 for a lot in West University. And I called the other realtor up very proud, wanting to let them know that I had a cash offer, and they said, we have 7 other cash offers. Houston is a funny city. You have some areas that are just flat out taking off, and then you have some other areas that are depressed. You've had traffic has been a major influence on real estate. The fact that our freeways are so crowded, people maybe that would think about buying in one area are looking more about that distance between how long it takes them to get to work now. The suburbs are not as popular as they used to be.
Well, that's right. The factor of how long is it? Of course, we just went through a period of people working from home. Now we're getting the period of being called back to the office. So a lot of dynamics are at play. But it seems to me, maybe you would agree, Houston still is a massive opportunity for people, and it seems like they're still coming.
Well, it's an incredible opportunity. You have a birth rate of 50,000 people. You still have people moving into Houston. You're seeing some much more movement towards the suburbs. People are moving into areas, Conroe, Hempstead, Fredericksburg, all the little towns. Their population growth is jumped higher than Houston's population growth percent-wise.
So a lot of people still coming in.
Yes.
Bottom line, Bill Edge, let's tell people again how they can learn more about HIREBA, HIREBA.
You can go to our website, HIREBA.org. You can go to Facebook.HIREBA and learn about it. The website is a very good source of information.
And if someone wants to reach you, Bill Edge, how can they reach you, Bill?
713-240-2949.
Again?
713-240-2949.
Bill, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance, with a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers. Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Here he is with Stewart Insurance, John Bramlett. Welcome to the show, John.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Here we go again. John, this is show 589.
Okay.
So one more show. We're 10 shows away from show 600.
That's fantastic.
And not to confuse people, these are fresh shows. 600, we'll have 600 fresh shows, but yet because of reruns, because of holidays, we're well over probably 675 shows in the history of the show. Just saying, we've been heard. It's amazing.
So how are we going to celebrate 600?
I don't know. Someone needs to come up with some money to have a celebration. So that'll be on our to-do list, at least mine.
Sounds good.
But it's insurance time once again, as the new year is right here. What should we know, John?
Well, let's talk a little bit for our home builders, or this is also information that loan officers and realtors can share with their clients. Is if you're going to have a New Year's resolution when it comes to insurance, the New Year's resolution needs to be know your coverage.
Know your coverage.
Know your
That's
coverage.
a good one.
So we're going to talk a little bit about what we need to do as far as knowing our coverage. Part of it is that things that we need to consider. So first of all has your home value changed? The cost of everything has gone up. We've seen that significantly with inflation. So the cost of any kind of repair or replacement has gone up. So making sure that your policy is set on replacement costs, not the market value or the loan amount, because when what an insurance company is evaluating what that replacement or repair is going to be, they're going to do it on the cost to make that, not what the value of the home is or what the loan value is. So if you can have replacement costs, they'll replace it at today's market value without depreciation. If it's actual cash value, then they're going to take into account the depreciation before they do any of the replacement. So that's important. Is your deductible outdated? If you want to make sure that your deductible is reasonable. So, if you need a higher deductible to lower your premium, have that conversation, but also make sure that it's the deductible is an amount such that if something bad were to happen and you want to be able to utilize your insurance, that it's at a level that you can do so. So again, understanding, is your deductible still lined up? We need to keep in mind weather-related issues. Do you have wind coverage, hail coverage? Do you have coverage for floods? And understanding that your home insurance is not going to cover a flood. Do you have the 4 types of water damage in your home insurance policy? So making sure that you understand, do I have those coverages? And if so, at what level? Are there any lifestyle changes that are taking place? Are you working from home more often? Are you going to have an extension? Have you done an add-on? Are you downsizing? So those kinds of things all could come into play. So that's kind of the first thing we want to take a look at. The second is, what are just some bare minimums that you need to have from a coverage perspective? Again, from the dwelling perspective, we want to be 100% replacement cost if at all possible. Do you have other structures? Fences, pools, other buildings, detached garages? Make sure that they're covered and that they're covered properly. What about your personal belongings? Again, if you can get replacement cost where depreciation doesn't come into play, we're much better off if we can do that. So that's one thing that we want to take a look at. Do you have some personal liability coverage? If somebody were to get hurt on your property, or if you were to damage somebody's property, do you have personal liability coverage? We often say that we need to look at somewhere between $300,000 and $500,000 in coverage. So I want to take a look at that. And then another nice one to have would be loss of use. So let's say something happens to the home and you've got to move out while repairs are being conducted. With loss of use, it can offset the cost of that some of the cost of that temporary housing. So that's something to keep in mind. Number 3 is just, what are some gaps that might be there? So we talked about flood coverage. So there are some folks that still assume that if I have a home insurance policy, it's going to cover a flood, and that's not the case. So you want to make sure that if you don't have flood insurance, at least have a conversation with your insurance advisor to talk about it. And if you do have flood insurance, is it the right amount based upon the value of your home? Again, do you have the 4 types of water damage coverages on a home policy? So are you covered for seepage and leakage? Are you covered for sudden and accidental? Are you covered for a water backup? Are you covered if you had to break the foundation? So understanding those areas are really, really critical. And then do you have some uninsured valuables, some jewelry, collectibles, your watches, those kinds of things? Are they covered, or they need to be under a separate policy? So all that considered, the fourth recommendation is to have an annual review. So all the things that we've just talked about, let's see if they're covered. Do I have the right depreciation level? Do I have the right dwelling coverage? Is my coverage replacement cost, or is it actual cash value? Do I have the 4 types of water damage? Do I need supplemental coverage for things like wind and hail, named storms, or a flood? So having those conversations with an advisor is critical. And then if you're working with an independent advisor, you've got somebody that can shop for you, that they can look at a variety of companies to determine what's the best policy and overall plan for you and your family, depending on where you are at this point in your life.
Wow, so many things to think about, John. I
Well,
mean,
but it's important, and this is a good time of the year.
it is.
But part of that is if you have the right person to have a conversation with, that individual, that proper agent, that proper insurance advisor can lead you down that path, and we can go through and ask questions about where you are in your life and what does your family look like and what's changed and what are the things that you're thinking about for the coming year. And through those discussions, then we can build that plan that makes the most sense.
And of course, the advisors at Stewart Insurance are right there. They answer the phone. A human being answers the phone, and helping people not just in our broadcast area here in Houston, Texas, but all over the United States, which we're here to remind people about that, because sometimes people think, oh, well, Stewart Insurance only. No. Stewart Insurance, we're helping people far and wide, all the way from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania to Dana Point, California, everywhere in between.
We have clients all over the U.S., and May and Sonia and Andrea and Janet and Mario are all there ready to help. Amber, you mentioned, she answers the phone. So we're there to be a resource for our clients. And it's truly that idea of being properly insured. What makes sense for you at this time in your life? And if we can meet those needs and you understand what coverage you do and don't have, and you're comfortable with that, then you're properly insured.
And the people you mentioned, May, Sonia, these are people that are like many of our escrow officers at the Stewart Title locations. These are people that have been with the company for decades. They know the different situations, the way to help people in a magnificent way every day.
Well, and Janet's a relatively new member of our team, but she's run an independent agency. Mario is a relatively new member of our team, but he has over 20 years experience in claims. So we've got a really great broad variety of folks, led by May and Sonia, that have been with us a long time, but it's really an exceptional team. They truly do take the client's best interests at heart. And because we're an independent, we do have that ability to shop around to find the best coverage based upon where an individual or a family is at this point in their life.
And that's not to mention Tom Carpentier leading the company in a magnificent way. And you, John Bramlett. John, you're the hardest working guy in the insurance world that I could tell. Your schedule, you're out there informing people, the CE classes, doing tremendous work.
Well, thank you. It's a love that we all have, and we all have a role in it. Not only working with families and individuals, but also real estate businesses, real estate brokers, independent title and attorney agents, property management firms on their business insurance.
Kind of getting off the track, but you mentioned life changes, different things, swimming pools. A lot of people have swimming pools in Texas, all over the place. But I ran into someone I just met. She has an indoor swimming pool.
Indoor swimming pool.
And you just don't run across that too often. So I don't know what.
So is that going to be in Casa de Bill here soon? An indoor swimming pool?
I don't know, but
maybe right next to your watch collection.
Right. Yeah, that. But it makes me think of the insurance implications. If the pool is indoors, is that lesser or versus a pool outside? But anyway, you don't run into that often.
No, but that's why you have
that's my
May
life.
and her
That's
team.
The kind of stuff
but that's
I
why
run
you
into.
have May and her team, because they can tackle that and make sure that home that has the indoor pool is properly insured as well.
Exactly. Insuring pools, people, cars.
Exactly right.
Every day.
Every day.
John, let's tell people how they can reach Stewart Insurance wherever they are.
They can call us at 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. They can learn more about us at stewartinsurance.com, or they can email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com.
one more time, the phone number, just for the fun of it.
866-798-2827.
John, thanks for being with us.
Always a pleasure, Bill.
She is back. It's been a while. Our business development people are doing tremendous work right here in Houston, Texas, and far beyond. And of course, Hope Moy is one of our Houston favorites. She's right here. Hope, welcome to the show. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Bill. Good to see you.
Thanks for bringing Emily along today. She's fantastic.
Don't you love
her?
her?
And the team. Yes, indeed. Let's tell people your two offices are.
So my two offices are Magnolia and Conroe in the Montgomery County offices. And I have 5 fantastic escrow officers to choose from. And, you know, I feel like I talk about my offices a lot. I just want to go into the new year saying that we have a ton of stuff coming up, lots of fun events. We have Ted Jones coming up, which I'm super excited about.
That's going to be soon, right?
Yes,
In like
at the end of
3
this
weeks?
month.
Yep.
At the end of this month. And I'm kind of doing some rebranding. So I'm super excited for what the year's gonna bring.
And I know you've been doing a lot of planning too, so it's going to be exciting to hear some of the things that you're doing in your two offices.
Yes, I'm super excited. Be watching out.
We will be watching and listening. Hope, let's tell people how they can reach you.
So my number is 346-224-1908. Again, my number is 346-224-1908.
Hope, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon, I hope.
You will. I promise.
And now she is back. Emily Rollins. The company is the Evan Ballou Group. Well, Emily, it's so nice to see you again here at the very beginning of the year. What else should we know about what you're doing out there?
I was supposed to be ready for this.
And you are.
Am I?
Yeah.
I'm ready for the new year. Gosh, what else should you know about what we're doing over there? We're growing, we're learning, we're becoming a better version of ourselves every day for our clients and for our community. So,
and give us an idea, because real estate is ever changing. What are some of the things that you do to keep up? Because there's so many dynamics. So you might all of a sudden there's a new piece of paperwork you need for a contract. I mean, it's maddening. I imagine there's parts of it, of the profession.
There's no transaction that's ever the same, ever. Like no financial situation is ever the same. No inspection is ever the same. No financial inspection, personal situation, timeline, nothing is ever the same. I've never had one transaction that's been like, oh, that's the same slam dunk as the last one, or this is the same complicated mess as the last complicated mess. No, we're all human. We're all complicated. We all have our things. And so I think that every transaction has its own, set of challenges.
I think that's the quote of the year already. We're all human and we're all complicated. I'm going to run with that.
Hey, that's my life.
There you go. I think that's everybody's life in some way or another. Emily Rollins, let's tell people how they can reach you in case they want to need help buying or selling their property.
You can call me at 713-295-1994, 713-295-1994.
Emily, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
And now, Brandon Levy is back with Smarter Mortgage. Well, Brandon, here you are once again. What else do you want people to know about what you're doing and how you're helping people with one of the lifeblood of almost every industry, and that's money?
Well, Bill, selling money is probably one of the most important aspects that you can do in this market. To have the opportunity to work with many different groups, well, as diverse and as bonded as they are, I really enjoy every type of new situation and new scenario that come across my plate on a daily basis.
And give us a quick word. How did you get in? What was it about the money world that fascinated you when it was time to make that decision?
I've always enjoyed numbers. It's been something that's just kind of come to me naturally. As far as my story for getting into the industry, I knew a buddy from the military that his brother actually lived in California. So we went out for a beer one night and he said, "Hey, how would you like a job?" And I said, "Great. If it's this easy, life's going to be amazing."
And here we are years later.
20 plus years ago. Isn't that crazy?
And then what keeps you in the money world? Because that's one thing. You got into the job, you're checking it out. But what keeps you here every day where you're like, hey, this is still great?
I love helping people. I love seeing people be successful, seeing them have opportunities to be able to have something like a house, something that, something of substance that they've never had and never thought that they could get.
Brandon Levy, Smarter Mortgage. Brandon, let's tell people how they can reach you.
You can reach me directly via my cell phone at 847 area code 858-4378. Once again, that's 847 area code 858-4378.
Thank you, Brandon, for being with us.
Thanks, Bill.
As we continue, Bill Edge. We're on the edge of our seat, Bill, right here. What's going to happen next? Let's tell people, once again, hi, Reba, if they want to learn more.
REM is the Houston Independent Real Estate Brokers Association. We are there also not just for realtors, but also for the public. Our website has a lot of useful information that will help you about buying a home, about insurance, about financing. It is available to everybody. Just HIREBA.org. Go online. We have things like seminars from Ted Jones, from Jorge Barao of Texas A&M, that give you some knowledge about what's happening in the industry now, what decisions you could make that will help you save money, where to buy, what's happening in the area. Some things, not so much political, but some things about that. Homeowners Association, laws that have changed, things that can be of a benefit to you, what up-and-coming legislation that's coming that affects homeowners. There are many things there's so many things that are happening out there that we try to be a resource, and we are your resource. We are a resource for the people of Houston and the realtors. We tell the realtors, you do not have to be alone in this business. We are there for you. You can be with other realtors. We are your organization.
And once again, the website is
HIREBA.org.
And as you two help buyers and sellers out there, your phone number, Bill, is
713-240-2949.
Bill Edge. Bill, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much, Bill.
And thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Knapik, right here. Show number 589. We're working on show number 590. Tune in next week, please. And we'll have more great real estate professionals for you. Super information, a little bit of fun along the way. That's right. Next week, just simply tune in to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Knapik, together with John Bramlett, all of us at Stewart Title and Stewart Insurance. We're here to help. Check out the show if you want to see the guest. It's fantastic. We have special effects, special lighting right here in the studio. So many great things, animation, artificial intelligence, I don't know what else, but you can find out by going to stewart.com/radio, stewart.com/radio, or simply put, just go to Radio Bill, stewart.com/radio, or simply put, just go to Radio Bill, my YouTube channel. You'll check it out there. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Real estate matters every Sunday at 5 on AM 950. Feel that real estate vibe. Streaming nationwide on the iHeart app. Join the conversation. It's a real estate map. What's hot in the market? What's moving fast? Bill Knapik leads the way, never comes in last. We'll talk about homes and the best-selling rates, real estate stories that truly relate. With experts gathered round, it's a show like no other. We'll lift your spirits, it's like talking to your brother. So grab a cup of coffee, don't fall behind. Real estate matters, it's your